Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we sift through the information overload to bring you the insights you need to be genuinely well-informed.
Glad to be here.
Today, we're diving into a world that's often seen purely as personal expression, but actually represents, well, a dynamic and surprisingly powerful global industry.
That's right.
We're talking about tattoos.
Yeah.
Not just the art on skin, but the massive, intricate economic ecosystem that supplies every single needle, every pot of ink, and all that specialized equipment.
It's true. I mean, the individual choice to get a tattoo, that's deeply personal, sure. But underneath that, there's a serious economic engine at work.
Exactly.
And what's really fascinating, I think, is that the global tattoo supplies market isn't just steady. It's actually a booming business. It's showing consistent expansion pretty much across continents.
Absolutely, and that's really our mission today. We're going to unpack some, frankly, really compelling recent data, look at some exciting growth projections, and uncover some truly surprising regional differences within this market.
Sounds good.
All of our insights today are drawn from a comprehensive cognitive market research report. It focuses specifically on projections stretching from 2021 all the way out to 2033.
It's a solid time frame.
Yeah, think of this as your shortcut, to understanding the economic pulse behind what's become a really pervasive cultural trend. It reveals unexpected patterns and, I promise you, some serious aha moments about where the tattoo industry is genuinely thriving.
And this deep dive, it's really about seeing that bigger picture. These trends are, I think, a clear reflection of changing social attitudes, evolving aesthetics, and, well, the increasing globalization of personal expression.
Right.
The numbers just give us a tangible way to measure just how widespread tattooing has become globally.
So let's start with that big picture then, because the global figures are truly impressive. This isn't just some, niche corner of the market anymore, is it?
No, far from niche.
Can you give us a sense of the sheer scale?
Yeah, absolutely. The report shows that back in 2021, the global tattoo supplies market generated a staggering sales revenue of just over $2.38 billion.
Wow, $2.38 billion.
Yep. And those figures are only set to climb.
Over $2 billion. That's already huge. And you're saying it's only going to get bigger?
Oh, yeah. Significantly bigger. The projections, they indicate no signs of slowing down, really. By 2025, that figure is expected to reach nearly $2.84 billion.
Almost $3 billion by next year.
Exactly. And if we look further down the road, say, to 2033, we're talking about a truly impressive $4.04 billion in annual sales.
$4 billion globally for tattoo supplies.
That's the projection.
That represents an overall compound annual growth rate, or CAGR, of 4.5%. What strikes me is the consistency here. This isn't some fleeting trend. It feels like sustained, powerful expansion.
Exactly. And these aren't just, abstract numbers on a spreadsheet. They represent a significant and growing sector of the global economy.
Right.
It's a clear indication that the demand for professional tattooing, and therefore the essential supplies, is robust and enduring. It really underscores a major cultural shift towards, well, greater acceptance and popularity of tattoos worldwide.
It's more than art.
It's an industry with serious momentum. Yeah.
Okay, now let's truly begin our deep dive into the regional specifics, because this is where this story gets really interesting, I think.
Agreed.
Different parts of the world are buzzing at remarkably different speeds. So let's start our tour in North America. What does the report tell us about its performance?
Okay, North America. It remains a really consistent and strong performer. The overall market there was valued at $754.745 million in 2021.
Okay, about $750 million.
Yep. And it's projected to reach $1.228 billion by 2033. That shows a solid 4.21% CAGR.
So steady growth.
It's a mature market, definitely, but it continues its reliable expansion. That speaks volumes about the enduring popularity of tattooing there.
And within North America, are there any particular standouts? Or is it pretty even?
Well, the United States naturally leads the region. Sales revenue there was $533.1 million in 2021, growing to $840.685 million by 2033. That's a 4.068% CAGR.
Still solid.
Very solid. But here's an interesting dynamic. Canada actually showcases a higher growth rate than the U.S.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's projected to move from $154.848 million in 2021 to $294.202 million by 2033. That gives it a 5.284% CAGR.
That's a noticeable difference. Why might Canada be growing faster than its larger neighbor, do you think? Any clues in the data?
That's a great question. The report doesn't spell it out explicitly, but while both are mature markets, right? Canada's stronger growth rate could suggest a few things, perhaps a slightly less saturated market,
Maybe.
where, maybe a newer wave of cultural acceptance sweeping through, or even differing regulatory environments that maybe enable faster expansion for artists or studios.
Interesting.
Sometimes smaller, more adaptable markets can react more swiftly to global trends. Mexico, just for comparison, exhibits more modest growth at 2.411% CAGR, going from about $66.8 million to $93.6 million.
So still growing, but slower.
A slower but steady upward trend, yeah.
Fascinating how even within established regions, those dynamics can vary. Okay, shifting gears to Europe, what story do the numbers tell us there?
Europe presents quite a diverse picture. You've got varied speeds of growth across the continent. The overall European market for tattoo supplies stood at $585.7 million in 2021.
Okay.
And it's projected to hit $968.4 million by 2033. That's a healthy 4.345% CAGR overall for Europe.
Pretty close to the North American rate?
Roughly, yeah. Germany stands out as the largest market in Europe. It's growing from about $138.8 million in 2021 to nearly $240 million by 2033. That's a 4.62% CAGR, indicating really robust and consistent demand there.
Right. And how about the United Kingdom? Often a big player.
The UK is also showing strong growth. It's moving from about $98.4 million in 2021 to $182.5 million by 2033. That's a 5.144% CAGR.
Okay, so even slightly faster than Germany.
A little bit, yeah. It suggests a very active tattoo culture in these larger economies, where tattooing has been, a significant cultural force for a while now.
Now, here's where the report, for me, threw an unexpected curveball. There's this rest of Europe category.
Yes.
It demonstrates a truly remarkable 12.646% CAGR, surging from only $14 million in 2021 to nearly $45 million by 2033. This isn't just growth. It feels explosive. What could be driving such an outlier?
That rest of Europe figure is genuinely eye-opening, isn't it?
It really is.
It strongly suggests that many of these smaller or maybe less saturated markets within Europe are experiencing rapid catch-up growth.
Right, coming from a lower base.
Exactly. This often points to regions where maybe tattooing is shedding lingering stigmas faster now or becoming more broadly accessible. Or perhaps there's been a recent surge in artist training and new studios opening up.
Makes sense.
It's that rapid expansion from a lower starting point rather than just incremental growth in an already mature segment. And in stark contrast, you look at Switzerland.
Okay.
It shows comparatively smaller growth, only 1.656% AGHR, going from roughly $19 million to $25 million.
Huh. Much slower.
Yeah, which could reflect a very mature, stable, or perhaps just a more niche market there.
So while some areas are exploding, others are just steadily cruising along, how do other key European countries fit into this patchwork? France, Italy, Spain.
Yeah, beyond Germany and the UK, the report notes pretty consistent broad growth across other major European economies. You mentioned France, that's at 3.859% CAGR. Italy's 4.066%. Russia's 3.472%. Spain's a bit lower at 2.679%.
Okay.
Sweden, 2.271%. Denmark, almost 3%. Luxembourg's around 4%. So most are seeing KGRs kind of in that 2.5% to 4% range. It signals widespread market acceptance, even if it's not always explosive across the continent.
It really is a fascinating mosaic of different speeds over there.
Definitely.
Okay, from Europe's varied speeds, let's pivot to Asia Pacific, or APAC, because the report really highlights this as a powerhouse of expansion. What's the overall picture there?
The APAC market is indeed very robust. It hit about $409.5 million back in 2021.
Right.
And it's expected to reach over $740 million by 2033. That's a 4.919% CAGR.
And that's higher than the global average, right? You said 4.5% globally.
That's right. It's notably higher. It signals a significant and, I'd say, accelerating embrace of tattoo culture across this really diverse region.
Who's leading the charge in APAC?
China, predictably, leads APAC in terms of size, growing from about $130.7 million in 2021 to $239.4 million by 2033. That's a 5.049% CAGR for China.
Strong. And India, with its massive population, must be a key player too.
Absolutely. India is demonstrating really strong growth. It's moving from roughly $57.8 million in 2021 to $115.8 million by 2033. That's a 5.671% CAGR.
Even higher than China's rate.
Yeah. This region, with its vast populations, expanding middle class, increasing youth demographics, it clearly represents enormous potential. Disposable incomes are rising, enabling new forms of personal expression.
Makes sense. Now, another striking revelation from the report for me, Taiwan.
Ah, yes.
Record the highest CAGR in APAC at an incredible 6.785%. It's projected to grow from just $13 million in 2021 to over $28 million by 2033. That's more than doubling. What makes Taiwan stand out so much?
Taiwan's remarkable growth rate. It often reflects a unique combination of factors, I think. It could be a rapidly evolving youth culture there, perhaps very strong artistic communities, maybe a quicker adoption of global aesthetic trends.
Pushing it mainstream faster?
Possibly pushing tattoo culture from niche to mainstream more rapidly than maybe some of its neighbors. But other significant markets in the region like Japan, South Korea, Australia, Singapore, they're also seeing strong, sustained growth, generally in the 4-5% CAGR range.
So there's broad-based growth.
It shows how broadly this trend is taking hold across various stages of economic development in APAC. Southeast Asia as a whole category is also strong at 5.237%.
Okay. From the dynamism of APAC, let's head south to South America. Here we observe more consistent progression, right, in the tattoo supplies market. What are the key figures?
Yeah, South America shows a steady, consistent upward trajectory. The overall market for tattoo supplies there was about $304.8 million in 2021.
Okay.
And is projected to reach $477.6 million by 2033. That represents a 3.906% CAGR overall for the region.
A bit below the global average, but still solid.
Still very solid. Brazil is predictably the largest market in the region. It's growing from $113 million in 2021 to about $179.7 million by 2033. That's a 4.084% CAGR for Brazil.
So a reliable market, if not necessarily explosive like some others we've seen.
Precisely. And we also see solid contributions from other key players in South America, like Argentina is at 4.251% CAGR, Colombia 4.473%, Peru a bit lower at 3.398%, Chile at 3.523%.
So mostly in the 4.5% range.
Yeah, most are experiencing growth in that range. While maybe not as explosive as some emerging markets, the growth here feels foundational. It indicates a deeply embedded and expanding industry across the continent.
Okay, moving now to the Middle East. This is a region that might surprise some listeners, I think. We're seeing emerging strength in its tattoo supplies market. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, the Middle East is indeed experiencing significant growth, and it's a compelling story. The overall market here is projected to grow from $183.3 million in 2021 to $336.8 million by 2033. Now, that's a 5.154% CAGR, which is, again, higher than the global average.
Really? Interesting.
It is particularly interesting given the diverse cultural context within the region. Saudi Arabia actually leads with strong growth. It goes from about $59.8 million in 2021 to $116.5 million by 2033. That's a 5.734% CAGR.
Wow, Saudi Arabia.
And the UAE is similarly strong, moving from $29.5 million to $57.5 million with a 5.611% CAGR.
That's quite unexpected for some of these markets. What might be driving such strong growth in places like Saudi Arabia and the UAE? Are we seeing a shift in social attitudes or something else?
Well, the high growth rates there certainly suggest a significant and evolving embrace of tattooing, or at least the supplies for it.
Right.
This could be attributed to a combination of factors, perhaps increasing westernization, maybe the influence of social media, which is huge globally, a growing expatriate population in some of these countries, and maybe even internal cultural shifts, as younger, more globally connected generations come of age and seek new forms of personal expression.
It certainly challenges traditional perceptions.
It really does.
Yeah.
It shows a fascinating cultural evolution and progress, and countries like Egypt, Turkey, and Qatar also contribute to this regional surge. They're generally showing KJARs between about 4.8% and 5.3%.
So strong across the board.
Mostly. It is worth noting, though, that the rest of Middle East category, similar to Europe, shows slower growth here, only 1.744% CAGR. So it illustrates that growth isn't totally uniform, even within this dynamic region.
Okay, interesting caveat. All right, now as we round out our global tour, we save arguably the most dynamic story for last. Let's talk about Africa.
Ah, yes, Africa.
Because the numbers here aren't just growing, they seem to be truly exploding, marking it as the fastest growing frontier in tattoo supplies.
Yeah.
What are the figures telling us?
This is truly a crucial insight from the report. Africa is unequivocally the most rapidly expanding region globally for tattoo supplies.
The fastest growing.
The fastest. It was valued at about $142.8 million in 2021, and it's projected to basically double, skyrocketing to nearly $286 million by 2033. That boasts an incredible 5.54% CAGR overall for the continent. It signals, I think, immense cultural and economic shifts happening there.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Are there particular countries leading this charge in Africa?
Yes. South Africa leads the continent with really impressive growth. It's going from $64.4 million in 2021 to almost $137 million by 2033. That's a 6.021% CAGR.
Over 6%.
And Nigeria is also a very strong contributor, moving from about $50 million in 2021 to over $104 million by 2033. That's a 5.909% CAGR.
Incredible numbers. It's really something to witness Africa's emergence as such a powerful force in this market. What do you think is the confluence of factors propelling such rapid expansion there?
Well, the rapid expansion in Africa likely reflects a powerful blend of factors. You've got youthful demographics, huge young populations across the continent,
Right.
increasing urbanization, rising disposable incomes in many areas. These economic shifts are converging with the global spread of cultural trends, through widespread media, internet access, social media.
Better connectivity.
Exactly, improved connectivity. It's a clear indicator that the market still has vast untapped potential in many parts of the world. And Africa seems poised to capitalize on that perhaps more than any other region right now.
It's a compelling example of how cultural expression can rapidly evolve alongside economic development.
Absolutely.
So when we synthesize all these numbers, all these regions, what's the overarching story? What does this tapestry of data truly reveal to us?
The overarching theme is just undeniable, isn't it? Consistent and powerful global growth of the tattoo supplies market.
Yeah, it's clear.
It's far more than a fleeting fad. It's a deeply embedded and expanding part of our global culture, showing remarkable resilience and adaptability. But what truly stands out, I think, is that contrast in growth dynamics.
Between the mature and emerging markets.
Exactly. You see the more mature markets like North America, parts of Western Europe, maintaining that steady, reliable growth. It indicates stable, enduring demand. But then you have these emerging regions, Africa leading the charge, key parts of Asia Pacific like Taiwan and India, and even those specific pockets in the rest of Europe, demonstrating truly rapid, sometimes exponential expansion.
So for you, our listener, the key takeaway here is that this isn't just about ink and machines. It really isn't.
No.
It's a profound reflection of evolving cultural expression, increasing disposable income, particularly in developing economies, and the global spread of artistic and personal identity through tattooing. The numbers paint this vivid, fascinating picture of how people around the world are choosing to express themselves.
And how commerce follows those deeply human desires. If we connect this to the bigger picture, it just illustrates how deeply interconnected our world has become. Cultural trends can rapidly traverse continents and influence economies in tangible, measurable ways.
Yeah.
It's really a testament to human creativity and that universal desire for self-expression.
This has been an incredible deep dive into the global tattoo supplies market. It reveals its strong trajectory, sure, but also that fascinating variety and growth across different regions. It truly shows us a new dimension of global commerce and, well, cultural evolution.
Absolutely. And this raises, I think, an important question for you to ponder, building on all these different growth rates we've discussed today. What underlying socioeconomic and cultural factors might really be fueling such vastly different rates of growth for tattoo supplies across the globe? Why 6% in South Africa and maybe 2% in Switzerland?
Good question.
And what does this vibrant global tapestry of growth truly tell us about how personal expression and artistic trends are spreading, how they're being embraced, and how they're transforming economies worldwide?
Something to definitely think about long after this deep dive concludes.
Indeed.